Alright, party people. This is our background music. This is the assignment. You have to be listening to this right now to continue with this video. But, okay, 2, square root or not to square root. Write a method that will get an integer array as a parameter and will process every number from this array. Return a new array that processes every number of the input array like this. If the number has an integer square root, take this, otherwise square the number. So in an example, we have 439721, which is transformed. Our 4 is transformed to a 2, which is the square root. 3 to 9, because the square root of 3 is... You know what, that's... well... is 1.7320508.076, which is not an integer. 7, which is squared to 49, because the square root of 7 is probably similar to 3, a decimal, that is, or a float. 4 and then 1, because 2. What is the square root of 2? Yes, just curious. 1.414213561. Remember that. That'll be useful in future. Square root of 2 would be, square root of 1 would be 1, correct? Yes, square root of 1 is in fact 1. I don't know why I looked that up, but okay, yes. Alright, so what we're going to do is the input array will always contain only positive numbers and will never be empty or null. The input array should not be modified. Have fun coding it, and please don't forget to vote and rank this kata. Okay, let's see. So since we're not allowed to mutate, we're going to make our own rooted list here. Or processed. That's not completely accurate variable name, but we'll run with it. So I'm going to take rooted list, and we're not going to push to it. Instead, I'm just going to take the array and reduce it right in here. And okay, so with this reduce, we've got the previous value, right? And then we've got our current value. And then we have our function, and then after our function, we can put a default value. I'm just going to put a default value of array because I want to return an array from my reduce, right? So I'm going to call this list. It's not super specific, but you know. And then our current is just going to be like num, something like that. Okay, so what do we want to do here? Well, we want to take our... we want to return... let's return a ternary. So we're going to take our math square root. We're going to square root our number, and we want to see if it's an integer or not. So what we could do is divide it by 1 and get the remainder, right? So modulo 1. And if there is no remainder, then it'll be equal to 0. Okay, so that's our question. Is our square root of our number an integer? And if it is, we're going to take all the values in our list and spread them into an array. And then at the end, add that square root. And if it's not an integer, to the other side of our ternary, we're going to get our list, spread it into an array, and then at the end of that list, we're going to add the number to the power of 2, or squared, right? And then as this loops over, these will be put into the list. The list is put into our rooted list. The rooted list is returned. In fact, I could just cut out the middleman here. Just return this. Even better. All right, so let's test it. And let's do an attempt. And that works. Okay, well. Oh, I thought I attempted it already. But yeah, it seems to work. And this is pretty much my solution, but with like shorter variable names. And they did the number times itself instead of to the power of 2, which, I don't know, this might be more efficient for the computer. I'm not sure. Maybe I should look that up. Fastest square JavaScript. As of April 2020, show less than a 1% difference. Edge and Firefox show less than a 1% difference between all three of the above methods. Math power to power times itself and to the power of 2. So I guess it doesn't really matter. As Chemical Brothers famously said. I hope somebody gets that reference. All right, so that's it for that one.